G'day, this is Cable54 and you're watching how I made an album solely out of Korg Volcas. Alright, g'day there, how you doing? This is Cable from Cable54. What's up? Thanks for watching. Cool, so this little video is the first in a series of videos that I'm going to do about the making of my album. I made an album called VOLCA Galaxies earlier this year. It came out on a little record label called Clan Analog, and this video series is all about how I made the album from start to finish. So this first video, a bit of an introduction. The next video after that, it's all about the composition. Then I'm going to be talking about playing live and how that influenced the album. And then after that, it's going to be getting into the recording, the mixing, the mastering, and all of it. So it's a big series of videos that I'm doing. And so, yeah, who is this video for? This video, these series of videos, I'm making them for people who make their own electronic music or who want to make electronic music. Particularly people who really like Volcas, you know. The Volcas have become such a big deal in terms of the synthesizers, new synthesizers over the past 4 or 5 years since they've been available. It looks like they're going to be putting out some new ones. So yeah, you know, they've become such a big deal, and so I think that people that are interested in hardware, particularly interested in Volcas, people that are interested in making electronic music in their own home and making albums and doing it themselves rather than going to a big studio. I think those are the kind of people that I think will be really interested in watching these videos and kind of getting a bit of an understanding about how I made the album. Like I said earlier, my name's Cable. My artist name is Cable54. I've been making music for about 10 years, maybe 12 years. I started off just playing the guitar around campfire, like acoustic guitar, and then from there I went on and started learning how to do production inside the computer, inside a DAW. And then originally I was using Cubase, now I use Logic. And then I started making more tunes inside the computer, and I was kind of making these big pop rock tunes, which you can find online if you really want. And then after that I slowly started getting a little bit more electronic, but really keeping it inside the computer. So last year I made an album called The Month Machine, and it was it's kind of semi-plastic ambient music, so it was all on the computer, and I really enjoyed doing that, and it was really great, and I'm actually really proud of the album. But I found myself just sitting there in my, in my little room inside my home. I'm on the computer, making music on the computer, and that's what music had become for me. I'd kind of put the guitar aside a little bit, and I was just making music on the computer. And so, I was on the computer a lot at work, and I found that I really wanted to break out of that a little bit. I wanted to start using hardware, and that's really where everything kind of started from, with using the Volcas. Alright, yeah, so the Volcas, I really wanted to, I decided to get into them because I really wanted to start my next musical project as playing live. I really wanted to play live, right? So I'd made this kind of ambient album, and now I wanted to play live. I wanted to kind of compose a new kind of set of songs and then play live. I'd seen a couple of people doing it online, and I really wanted to do it myself. So I started getting a couple of the Volcas. I think I got the beats first and the keys, and just started slowly learning. Now the reason that I chose the Volcas themselves was because I saw some people playing live, right? I mean, these particular guys that I'm having a look at on YouTube right now that are coming up on the screen, these were just really inspiring to me. I even made a little playlist, and I'd play those songs back over and over to myself on headphones, and it was, really inspiring to hear these guys. So if any of them happen to be watching this, thank you. But yeah, another thing about the Volcas was they were affordable. I had some money to spend, but not heaps, and I found that with the Volcas, here in Australia we pay about $250 each. I could buy the set, I could buy 4 of them for about $1,000, and that was good. Like I'm aware that they're not, obviously that they're not top of the line synthesizers, but they are really, really good, and they allow you to get a really good kind of sound. The other thing that I was really interested in with the Volcas is that it was hardware, and I wanted to learn hardware. Like I'd never had hardware for music. I'd never had hardware synthesizers. It was always software inside the computer. So I wanted to learn hardware, and I thought the Volcas were a really cool way of getting started with that. Another cool aspect was the Volcas was the online communities. So everything inside synthesizer groups on Facebook, and the Korg the Korg Facebook group. That's really, really helpful, and I found that really inspiring. All the videos as well, I found super inspiring. Another aspect that I knew that was really cool was with the Volcas, I could use them for future projects as well. Because I've got that MIDI in, I knew that the Volcas could be used for future projects. Say if I wanted to buy a sequencer, or if I wanted to kind of get like a big rig, like years in the future, or a couple of years in the future, then I could do that with the Volcas. They weren't just kind of like they weren't just useless after this project. And I guess the last reason with the Volcas that I decided to kind of like really focus on them for this album was I kind of felt competitive with it, because I hear people talking a lot about making music, right? Cool. But I really find my creativity is all about hard work and working at it, and all about inspiration, and all about skill, right? Those are the kind of things, persistence, those are the things for me that I really find, inspiring, and what kind of gets music done, and what makes good music. I really get kind of like, it makes me feel really competitive when I hear people say, oh, the Volca Beats, it's not very good, like it's a good little toy, but that's it. It really makes me feel competitive. And so having the Volcas really kind of brought out that competitive side of me, and I really wanted to make an album that sounded just really, really, really good with these machines that a lot of people shit on. I really felt competitive with that. I'm really passionate with that. So that was another really important reason, or another really powerful thing with the Volcas themselves. Cool. So when it came to my musical inspirations for the album, I think there's a few things. I think, I've listened to so much rock music in the past, kind of growing up, although I don't really listen to that much anymore. I think that had a kind of bit of an influence on the structure of the album and the kind of like the melodies in the album. But most recently I was into ambient music with the last EP that I did, and that's, so I was listening to a lot of Eno stuff, Brian Eno, so I think that a lot of that kind of comes into the album as well. But, it was really about kind of guys like Kraftwerk, Conrad Schnitzler, with a little bit more of the krautrock type of influence, Tangerine Dream as well. But really, the guys on YouTube kind of making the jams. What can I have a look at some of them here? This guy in particular, I don't know how to pronounce the name, was fantastic. And a few others, I made a little playlist and listened to it all the time. It was just really, it was great, and really, really heavily inspiring for me. Also, when it comes down to the influence, it was actually some visual art as well. I went to this exhibition, this woman called Melinda Harper, and she had this incredible exhibition. I found it very inspiring while I was composing some of the tracks. So, that was one of the inspirations too. Okay, cool. So that's the end of this video. That's the little introduction. I hope you've liked it. I hope you've gotten something interesting from it as well. I'm really going to be getting into a lot of detail with this type of, with how I made the album, VOLCA Galaxies. Like I said, I'm going to be going through composition, playing live, talking about mixing, recording, mastering, all that. So that's all coming up. And so I think it's going to be really fun to go through, and hopefully really cool. If you want to have a listen to the album, you can totally do that. I think that would kind of help. So you can listen to that across at Bandcamp. If you really enjoy it, or if you really find these videos really helpful, you can pick up a copy of the album and buy a copy. That would really be cool. You can get it on iTunes or Bandcamp. Otherwise, like the video, do all the social media stuff. You can find me on there. Cool. Well, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope it's been cool, and I'll see you in the next video.